Eine Nacht gestern habe ich das nicht zusammenfassen können. Das ist ja einen Tag noch eher, ne? Das sind 2 Buchungen. Ich musste also eine Buchung ganz normal schon bezahlen. Das ist auch schon gemacht. Und jetzt ist es Dienstag und ich habe dann auch erstmal nicht für die Karte. Also mir ist es egal, wie ich das wenn ich am sinnvollsten ist. Weil da haben wir die Steuervorteile. Du hast den Steuervorteil, du kannst es abrechnen. Steuervorteil, dafür keine Zahlen. Jetzt erst nicht ein Vorteil, weil du den Teil absetzen kannst. Das auf jeden Fall. Das ist eine Frage. Ja, ich fliege schon erst am Dienstag. Kann man das vorher machen? Das wirklich das. Nein, das will ich nicht auf die Karte. Ich habe mich Supermarkt wieder entdeckt. Ich mache das ja immer Wasser holen. Ganz großartig ein Restaurant, von daher ich habe so die in einem Auto heute Abend noch nicht hingefahren. Können wir zusammenfahren. Falls du Hunger hast auf Burger. Ja, so. Wir sind ja free. Ich glaube, die haben heute hier so ein Get-Together in der Bar. Ja, natürlich. Da müssen wir jetzt nicht mal von meinem Hotel 1,2 Kilometer, von hier aus müsste das so ungefähr 3 sein. Und den da, wo wir mal waren, erinnerst du dich? Wir waren mal vor 2 Jahren oder vor 3 Jahren, da waren wir mal bei In- und Outburger. Das wird einfach auch eingegeben, sind wir einfach in der Richtung dem neuen in der Nähe.
Turned it up. Move your head in a little.
Sonntag werde ich mir dann mal das Manchester-Haus angucken. Ich war jetzt so angefixt vom letzten Jahr, dass ich gesagt habe, ich mache ja eine. Cool. Ich kenne das. Das war jetzt zum Beispiel. Das hat mir aber dieses Mal sogar noch geholfen. Ich habe sehr früh am Flughafen Köln gesessen. 2,5 Stunden vor meinem Flug nur nach München gehen. Und ich habe dann immer gesagt, wissen Sie was? Ich habe ein bisschen schlecht geschlafen. Warum? Ich habe erst um 14 Uhr die Maschine und bin dann in München. Und die App hat mir gesagt, bei der Buchung 50 Minuten habe ich Zeit. Jetzt habe ich aber gerade gesehen, zwischen Landung und Boarding sind aber 10 Minuten. Ich ich weiß aber, dass ich in Terminal 2 in Skype reinnehmen muss, dass ich nochmal durch die Passkontrolle muss und oben rein. Schaffe ich das? Und dann da, ja, eigentlich niemals was tun können. Aber wenn man was mit der Maschine ist, ist ja jetzt schon da. Wollen Sie die Maschine früher nehmen? Das kann ich bestimmt machen, wenn ich so viel kostet, also wenn ich das anbiete, ist das kostenlos. Und die eine Maschine hatte ich über eine Stunde Zeit und konnte ganz bequem, weil es dauert tatsächlich eine halbe Stunde. Und das, obwohl ich nicht getrödelt habe. Ich habe kein Shopping oder sonst was. Ich bin einfach nur durch und alles. Und von daher ich weiß, Train, Skytrain.
I am Ben Kosic. So on behalf of Jeff Roldberg, my partner of many years, Jeff, and all the staff at Future Media, I'd like to welcome you to the 5th annual FCPX Summit. I think we're missing at least 30 people on the way to the airport and this and that. The group size this year is larger. I think it's 130 people. So thank you. So before we start, I got to thank Apple. As you know, they're not big on events, and FMC has been lucky to work with Apple on this event and others that I will share with you in the afternoon coming up. So thank you for Luke and Judd and all the good people at Apple to help support the summit. So I hope to have them in queue and delivery that as excited as you are to hear back from users. Your wish list, your complaints, and so on and so forth. So that was the idea, and that's why we produced it in Cupertino, even though we force you to travel. We've done it in downtown LA, downtown major city, but the proximity to Apple is important for them to be able to have their engineers get free time and meet with you. Joke about myself, I'm the one who wrote in the Facebook group that we're going to meet, we're going to visit the Apple Park. I lied. That's how we do business. Anyway, I apologize. I was very happy and I wrote myself because it took me months to negotiate the trip into Apple Park, and then it was canceled. I don't know why. Apple doesn't share, as you know. We just got the word 2 weeks ago, sorry, last minute, whatever. So I'm sure they tried hard. I'm sure they have a reason, and feel free to ask Luke or Jack if you see them why. But anyway, my apologies. Thank you. By show of hand, how many are new? Did you raise your hand? Okay, so great to see so many familiar faces. I appreciate the alumni keep coming back, supporting this event. And for those of us who are new, I wish you a great event and welcome to the family of FMC events. Attendees, I hope you find the conference effective and rewarding. And talking about that, we're in the business of advanced conferences, meaning, as you can see, no one is 20 years old and a beginner. That means that we cannot wow you in every session. Not everything will be new to you. You know your stuff. So your goal, if I may, from such an event, is to walk away with 2 or 3 or 4 tips per session, added up over 3 days. You have a bundle of tips. And of course, meeting each other, networking, and meeting the Apple people. You go back and you have a couple of business cards from the software engineers and this and that, and you can shoot them emails and they'll love that. So that should be your goal and your expectation from an advanced level event. A couple of words, Future Media Conferences is the company, our company. Jeff and I started it 20,000 years ago, 25 years ago. And all we do is training for media and entertainment technology, or production and post-production, whichever they want to call it. And so we are the authorized training channel center for Apple and Adobe and Blackmagic and Maxon and anybody that has Autodesk Any company that has a critical mass of users that don't wish to deal with training, that outsources to what we hope is a reputable organization. So we've been doing training for 25 years. We're starting in '94. And we do the training in different flavors. We have 8 locations around the country with training centers. This is where you come for 2-3 days courses on different software. Those classes are also available online, interactive, using desktop sharing technology and sound and all that. So you can take it from the convenience of home or office. And we also send our trainers on site if your organization has training needs. So any of the trainers that work for us that you see that can come to your organization and provide customized training. So the training center is one way we provide training, and the other way is through events and trade shows. We produce about 25 events a year around the country and internationally. And they're all about production and post-production, but I'll talk about that more when I speak again in the afternoon. Let me mention a couple of things. Number one, we are recording all sessions, something that we started last year. And for an upgrade, some of you have purchased it already, but if you decide because you are attending the event for an upgrade of $85, you can get post-event, you can get to stream all the recordings for about 90 days. So you can see all the sessions that are happening in the other room that you cannot attend. If you wish to take advantage of that, you just see our staff in the reception desk. Other than that, we'll be here all the time. We'll guide you. You don't have to worry where to go, where to be. We have with us Chris Fenwick today, who will be the host. Jeff Greenberg couldn't make it. So I would like to introduce Chris, like he was an editor. He's used to dark rooms and no people. And now I forced him to be in front of the group, so he's a little nervous. So anyway, thank you again for being here. I wish you a great experience. Here's Chris.
I just want to do a couple of things here. If you know Jeff Greenberg, the man's a master trainer, and he is responsible for all the content that you have the access to learn this weekend. If he had left that up to me, this would be a horrible waste of your time. So I want you to know that this is really Jeff's event. The only reason I'm here is that Jeff decided about 9 months ago that he wanted to make his family bigger. So go ahead here. He sent us actually a little video. Can we play that video, the big black hole there? He sent us a little note. It's something that probably has to be clicked on or something.
No, hold on. I got it. Hold on. I don't know about computers here.
So Jeff asked me if I would kind of sit in for him and run some of this, and I was like, if you think so, sure, but this is really your event.
Hold on.
I'm going to give you another 15 seconds, and then I'm going to give you a verbal description of the video.
Yep.
iPhone. Selfie.
Done. Okay.
Jeff talks. Jeff pans over. Beautiful little baby kid. All right. So, what I also want to say here is that it's really an honor for me to stand here in this room. This room is filled with people that run enterprises and they have their own post-production companies. There's people that run very small work groups, and there's students that are just trying to get started. We have veteran professionals that have been doing this forever. And there's a wide variety of people in this room. And I find that very interesting because even though with this wide variety of people, we've all decided to use this one piece of software. And I think that's very interesting. And it's important to me because since we've all sort of bought into this application, it affords us a certain amount of comfortableness. You know, if you talk to professionals, they'll say it doesn't matter what you cut in. It really doesn't. You cut a Premiere, Avid, whatever. But here's the thing. I think that we should offer ourselves a little bit of a respite, if you will, from that sort of clear logical thinking. True, it doesn't really matter what you cut in, but we're all here and we're in these rooms and we're all kind of safe together, so why don't we just admit we love cutting in Final Cut 10. It's okay to say that. At least for the next couple of days, and you might get teased later, but that doesn't matter. We love the sound. And the fact that we all have that sort of common buy-in to this application, I think that because of that, this doesn't feel like your typical conference. It doesn't feel like a meeting. It doesn't feel like training. There's something different about it. And because of that, I want to say that here at the Final Cut Creative Summit, it's a different thing. This doesn't feel like training to me. To me, it feels a lot more like a family reunion. I genuinely feel that every year when I come here. And so what I want to say to all of you is, welcome home. Woo. Okay? Now, some housekeeping stuff.
Let's hear Jeff.
Oh, let's hear Jeff. Let's go to the video that I described so well.
All right.
I'm sorry I'm not at the Creative Summit.
Wait, he wants it from the very beginning. All right.
Hi, I'm Jeff Greenberg. I'm sorry I'm not at the Creative Summit. If things are going great, your presenters are why. If they're not, well, it's all my fault. Oh, here's the reason why I'm not there. That's Gabe. That's our new little addition to our family. And all I can tell you is you're in for a blast over the next couple of days. Enjoy all the secret stuff that I wish I was there for. Thanks again for coming.
Thanks, Jeff. So some housekeeping stuff. If you have any questions about what's going on, you have multiple ways to get answers. You can ask me, I might have the answer if I want. But the smart people are Liat and Yesenia, and they are in the, where's Yesenia?
She's outside.
Okay, she's outside. If you have any real questions, and also be adults, these banners, they will tell you everything that's going on. I also want to try and keep everything on schedule. The classes will start at the beginning of hours and they will wrap up at 45 minutes, so if you're a presenter, please try and keep to that. And the other thing, and I'm going to say this a lot, you're going to hear this a lot, don't lose your badge, okay? And I'll tell you why. One, we're not going to print you another one. And two, if you do, you absolutely will not get in at Apple tomorrow. It's just not going to happen. I don't even think they'd let Steve Martin in, okay? So don't lose your badge. Now I'm going to bug you about that. Don't leave it in a restroom. Don't, oh, I think it's in the car. I think it's in I kicked it under the bed. No, keep your badge with you.
Let's shower with their badge.
Yeah, you should probably shower with your badge. Let's move forward to the next slide. Okay, now I've been told I'm wrong about this, but let's, on social media, use either this or FCPX Summit, okay? And that just helps all the people, the fear of missing out who aren't here. I already know people are like refreshing their Twitter feeds over and over and over. So either use Creative Summit or that. Now, if you're here and in the room, how many people have logged on to the WhatsApp account thing? Pretty much most of you. If you haven't, I would highly recommend you do it. We'll put the slide up at the end of the day, and there's some place out in the hallway where you can just take your phone, snap it at it, and it'll open up, and it'll...
Works right here, Chris.
Does it work? Great. So that's our way of giving you announcements or updates if things change, if people are running late. We're going to send messages that way. And what's really been amazing, I've seen people like, hey, can you swing by and pick me up at the airport? I thought that was pretty cool. Let's move forward. All right, once again, the badges. Tomorrow we go to Apple. You have to have your badge. There's obviously some logistics involved in that. I think on the schedule of what we're going to do, we go first at 12:30. We leave here, so I'm sure we should be in the parking lot, getting on buses before then. That'll take us to the park, to the visitor center. You have to have the badge. Then we'll go over to the campus at 12:30, and there's announcements and secrets, and you all signed an NDA, so I'm sure it's going to be, incredible. All right? And then at 6 o'clock, we'll be back here. And that's what happens tomorrow afternoon. Let's move forward. All right. We have 2 keynotes this year. One will be this afternoon, and that's Stephen Moyer. Stephen, can you raise your hand? Are you in the room? Hey, Stephen. Stephen, in one sentence, loud voice, one sentence or one breath or less. What are you going to talk about? Putting you on the spot.
Our workflow on the feature film, The Banker, starring Samuel L. Jackson and Anthony Mackie.
That's a sentence. Love it. And then on, I believe it's Saturday, correct, I think? Joshua, where are you in the room, Joshua? Same drill. One sentence or one breath or less. What are you talking about?
I'm going to be talking about our workflow on the feature documentary, The Pursuit.
Awesome. Okay. So those are our keynote speakers. Let's move forward. All right. I'm sure what everybody wants is for me to read through every word on the training grid, right? Should we start that? No, we're obviously not going to do that. The grid, again, I said the grids are outside, and I'm sure they're online someplace, I'm going to say, but there are a couple pointers here. So I mentioned Stephen will be today, and then tonight is Jeff's trivia contest, and he has been sending me stuff all day, so it's all, and let's, do me a favor, let's make this big, because Jeff loves this thing, and if I were to let it crash and burn, he'd be very upset with me.
And we're drinking, they have drink tickets.
And, oh yeah, back of your back, bam, drink tickets, right? Okay, and then tomorrow, of course, is the Apple visit. Again, the badges, and has everybody signed an NDA if you haven't talked to Leah, okay? And then Saturday's key things are Josh and the discussion panel. I gotta say, I immensely appreciated all the people from Apple that participated in the panel discussion last year. To me, it was really a highlight of the event. I think, like Ben said, this is why we do this in Cupertino. And so, we need to be, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be extremely respectful of the fact that they're giving their time to do that, and I think you should too. So I think it's awesome that we have that kind of access, especially for a company that is so notoriously, I always describe it like the Willy Wonka chocolate factory, right? Nobody comes in, nobody goes out. All the chocolate's made by Oompa Loompas. So I love the fact that they have chosen this as a safe territory where they can come and share with us. All right, and then let's do this. What I would like to do, kind of like we just did with the keynote speakers, if you see your name on this screen, raise your hand. I know some of you aren't here. All right, let's go around the room, one sentence, one breath, or less. Ian, what's your talk about?
Talking about how to make good educational content in Final Cut.
Awesome. Who's the next one in the room? Oh, but I don't think there's I know there's, okay, here we go.
I'm Nick, I'm doing 10 tips for the non-designer.
Okay, and Nick, you have plenty of talks too, right? Or are you just doing it as a double session? So these tips are so giant, you have 2 sessions.
Jeff gave me 2 sessions. Yeah.
Okay, so Lee?
Hi, I'm Lee. ProResor is awesome. Ask me why.
And are there any other people? I know Sam is still, I think, learning Keynote up in his room or something. Is there anybody else? And Serena, what are you going to be talking about?
I'm talking about what my dog taught me about life using my 3-week trip to Sicily and all the good and bad that happened there.
And I'm going to tell you that if you're thinking, what? Serena's awesome, and I look forward to listening in on that. And then, where's Patrick? There you go, Patrick.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks on mixing in stereo and surround, including a tip on how to go from a stereo mix to a surround mix in 5 minutes or less in Final Cut Pro 10.
I would imagine using Final Cut would help that, huh? Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, and now let's see. Now, dinner is on our own. I'm going to give you a pointer here. Like Ben mentioned, most of us are editors. We spend the majority of our waking hours in a dark room by ourselves staring at a monitor. If we're in the room with other people, they're usually staring at the back of our heads. We are notoriously bad at social interaction. When it comes to leaving this place, like for meals, lunches, dinners, breakfast, don't go by yourself. Let's use WhatsApp. Feel free, stick your hand out, shake people's hands. Hi, Tim, and Chris. Just get over it. We all feel the same awkwardness. Meet somebody. That's why we're here. And let's, if you're sitting there and you see 10 people walking off the site, go with, hey, I'm joining you for dinner or lunch or whatever it is. It's okay. We all feel the same awkwardness. And then, Stephen, and then, of course, the social hour and trivia, and that's at the bar around the hallway. I know you all know where the bar is, right? Okay. Next slide. I told you I'd whip through these things, right? Okay, that's Friday. I'm not going to read this. We'll deal with that later. Friday again, Saturday, tons of great stuff. Saw my name. That's awesome. So, what else? No, you don't have to really show that. So, when it comes to the sponsors, without the sponsors, this doesn't happen as well as it does. I'm absolutely thankful that these companies have decided to be a part of it. Lumberjack, and interestingly enough, Intelligent Assistance. Coremel, Quantum, FCP Works. I know that some of you guys are in the room, Adamus and LumaTouch. And before we wrap this up, we're going to hear from 3 of them. Is that now? No, we have other sponsors. Music Bed, if you were here, you saw the Music Bed video beforehand. Softron, Studio Network Solutions. These people help make this thing happen. And the exhibitors, Friday night, tomorrow. Is that tomorrow night already?
Yeah.
This week is flying by.
Yeah.
All of these people will be in this room. And we are also going to be giving away, next slide, prizes. Here's the thing about the prizes. There's one in particular that is totally cool. Black Magic has decided to give us one of their eGPUs, and not like the entry level one, like the really Gucci cool one, the high speed one. But here's the thing about the prizes. Yes, we will draw a name, but if you're not here and we call your name, next one, let's call another name. So you got to be in the room when we call your name to win these prizes. Understood? It's a forced party. Doesn't that sound great? And thank you for all these people for helping promote this event. We're really happy for them. And it's all these people. And then, now, the sponsors. So, first, we are going to have Roger. And Roger is going to set up his computer. It'll take just a moment. And he's going to show us some stuff from Cornell. And after that, we're going to have Jordan come up. So let's get Roger's computer set up. I also want to say while he's setting up, I live about an hour and 10 minutes away. Jump in the car, drive down here. It blows me away when I start talking to people and seeing how far people travel to come here. And it's astonishing, and I have huge respect for all the hours and plane rides and stuff. It's awesome to see that this community is truly worldwide.